happens when both events could occur at the same time? Here's an example of overlapping events. How many different ways could you draw a heart or a face card from a standard deck of playing cards? Well, first of all, a standard deck contains 4 suits: diamonds, hearts, clubs, and spades. Each of those suits contains 13 cards with values ranging 2 through 10, and then face cards of Jack, Queen, and King, and then finally an ace. So there's 4 suits and 13 denominations or values for each of the cards. So if we look at this situation, there are 13 hearts, and then there are 4 jacks, 4 queens, and 4 kings. If I were going to just add these up, I would say there are 12 plus 13, or 25 total cards there. But we can see that that's not really true because we're double counting where we have a heart and a face card. So in this region right here, we're actually overcounting or double counting 3 cards because we've included them in both the heart category and the face card category. So we need to subtract those 3 instances of overlap or double counting, and we'll end up with 22 cards. Now this situation is a case where the 2 possible categories or events, hearts and face cards, are not mutually exclusive. And the way we determined our total outcome was to take the total possibilities in each category, the 13 and the 12, add those together, and then subtract the intersection or overlap of the 2 categories. So, to express that mathematically, we would say in an OR situation where the events are not necessarily mutually exclusive, we find the number of ways that things can occur, total, is the number of ways the first event can occur, plus the number of ways the second event can occur, minus the number of ways they both can occur. So that upside down U means and, or the intersection of A and B. So let's summarize what we've learned here. We've looked at 2 situations, an AND situation of 2 events and an OR situation of 2 events. When we're trying to determine a total number of outcomes in an AND situation, we use multiplication. And we ask ourselves whether or not the 2 events are independent. And we have to worry about the probability or the number of ways that B can occur given that A has already happened. For instance, in that camping example where our afternoon choice was affected by our morning choice. And that upside down U symbolizes the and or the intersection of those 2 events. In an OR situation, we saw that we add our possibilities or the number of outcomes. And we have to ask ourselves whether those 2 possibilities are mutually exclusive or not. If they're not, we need to subtract the number of ways that they both can occur at the same time, the overlap or double counting. With the OR situation, we use the right side up U to mean or, the union of the 2 possibilities. So let's recap. What are independent events? Well, independent events are when one event occurs and it does not affect the way the other event could occur. What are mutually exclusive events? Mutually exclusive events are when the occurrence of one event excludes the possibility the other will occur. I can only have one outcome, not the other. When are we concerned with independent events? We're concerned with those when we're looking at an and situation. We want to know whether the second event is affected by our first event. When are we concerned with mutually exclusive events? In an or situation, where the number of total ways that two events can occur could possibly contain an overlap or double counting. What mathematical operation do we use in an and situation? Multiplication. What mathematical operation do we use in an or situation? Addition. What does our notation here represent? That represents the number of ways that B could occur given that A has already happened. How do we compute the number of outcomes in an or situation that contains non-mutually exclusive events? Well, we take the number of ways that A can occur plus the number of ways that B can occur, and then we subtract the number of ways that A and B could occur, the overlap or double counting.